Namaskar, I am Biju Dharmapalan and you are watching Science Time, a show that brings you the latest developments from the world of science and technology. Let's first look at some of the exciting stories. Indian researchers develop Hemo-halt bandage. Chinese scientists claim to have developed ultratough but stretchable steel. The science behind lightning zigzag unravelled. Now let's see the news in detail. Researchers from the Agarkar Research Institute, an autonomous institute of the Department of Science and Technology, have developed a bandage containing chitosan, which is a natural polymer that halts bleeding, and agonist, that is a substance that improves clotting, nanoparticles that can rapidly minimize blood loss from wounds. The Hemo-halt bandage can reduce blood loss before treatment, save lives, and reduce disabilities on the battlefield. It can also contribute to the reduction in hospitalization cost. Worldwide, uncontrolled hemorrhage is the leading cause of the traumatic death due to accidents or injuries among the military and civilian populations. Severe bleeding triggers trauma due to shock, hypothermia, coagulopathy, tissue damage, and organ failure that often causes mortality. Therefore, efforts for early hemorrhage control are important to prevent disability or death during severe blood loss. Though critical guidelines recommend topical hemostatic agents in the form of pads, patches, bandages, or gel applications for early control of bleeding, most of these are inadequate in halting heavy blood loss. Conventional physical hemostatic agents like bone wax and gelatin form, biological agents such as bovine thrombin and fibrin sealants, and synthetic agents including cyanoacrylates and glutaraldehyde cause inflammation, viral infection, and tissue toxicity. Considering these limitations, developing effective and safe dressing for hemorrhage control occupies high significance for both civilian and battlefield populations. Chitosan, which can control bleeding due to its cationic nature and hydrogel forming ability, leads to the concentration of erythrocytes and platelets in the injury site. Commercial chitosan preparations like Celox, a lightweight chitosan foam powder produced by bubbling, and Hemcon chitosan coated bandages are approved by US FDA and are in use for hemorrhage control by the US Army. However, these wound dressings show variable performances due to a lack of stabilization of blood clots, mechanical strength, lack of porosity, and a tendency for adherence to wound surface. In the newly developed hemostatic bandage, researchers from the Agarkar Research Institute, the synergistic effects of combining chitosan and agonist nanoparticles resulted in the highly efficient blood clotting ability. The hemostatic gauze has the added advantage of ease of removal from the injury site. The GLP studies have been undertaken for this product, which will help in commercialization. The indigenous bandage will be an important substitute to foreign brands like Celox, Chemcon, Chitoclot, etc., promoting the Make in India effort. Hemostatic soft gel are also being developed that can be applied to soft tissues and organs. Now let's move to the next story. Scientists from China claim to have solved a problem in steel making by creating a new kind of ultra strong yet stretchable steel. According to the researchers, the newly found ductile metal can stretch by 18 to 25%. It can also support the weight of a 2-ton automobile on a piece of steel no larger than a fingernail. The findings of their research are published in the peer-reviewed journal Science. The super strong steel that can absorb a lot of energy during collisions would find use in the automotive, aerospace, and equipment industries since companies could shape it into intricate designs. Strength and flexibility are typically mutually incompatible, creating ultra-tough steel that can also stretch was a significant problem for scientists. However, there is a market for such a material in infrastructure and transportation as it is safe and lightweight. To create steel with both qualities, the researchers developed a unique hierarchical nanostructure design for the study. In the process, they forged melted raw alloyed material at 650 to 800 degrees Celsius. Then they let the air cool, helping the material to form a unique structure. However, to cool it down further, they used liquid nitrogen, having a temperature of minus 196 degrees Celsius. Then they heated it at 300 degrees Celsius to improve stability. According to the researchers, the manufacturing method could decrease the cost of production of a ton of steel by about $75 and decline carbon emissions by more than 100 kilograms of coal equivalent per ton. Now let's move to the next story. Lightning can light up the sky in a bright flash and take on a variety of shapes. But if you were to draw it, you would almost certainly scratch it out a zigzag. But what gives thunderbolts this branch-like shape? Why does lightning zigzag across the sky instead of discharging in a straight line between a thundercloud and the ground? Many mechanisms of lightning remain a mystery, although researchers are starting to untangle the reason behind lightning's crookedness. In a study published in the journal Physics D Applied Physics, researchers from the University of South Australia suggest that the characteristic zigzag pattern of lightning is caused by a highly conducting form of oxygen that builds up irregularly as the bolt travels towards the ground, sometimes over great distances. A better understanding of lightning can help structures and people from survive thunderstorms. For example, it may inform the placement of lightning rods on tall objects such as buildings, radio masts, and ship superstructures. Let's move to Science Quest segment. The question for this week's Science Quest is there a language of laughter? Laughter is a human universal, something all people do in every corner of the globe, no matter what their culture is. There is evidence that laughter can act as a social glue, encouraging shared feelings of closeness. But of course, that doesn't mean that we all laugh the same amount at the same things or in the same situations. In fact, psychologists in Canada have proposed a theory that says that there are four main styles of humor and that individuals and cultures vary in how much they tend to practice and laugh at these different kinds of jokes. It's almost as if we speak different laughter languages depending on the mix of our own personalities and cultural background. The four humor styles are: the first one is affiliative, that is laughing with other people and amusing them. The second is self-enhancing, that is managing to take a light-hearted approach to difficult circumstances or setbacks. The third one is self-defeating, that is making fun of oneself for other people's amusement, to manipulate or hide one's true feelings. And the last one is aggressive, that is ridiculing or teasing other people. In terms of links with personality, there is evidence that friendly, cheerful extroverts tend to go for self-enhancing and affiliative humor. In contrast, people who are moodier and less agreeable tend to practice more aggressive and self-defeating humor. When it comes to the cultural differences, studies show that people from more collectivist cultures such as China are less likely to use aggressive humor and more likely to use affiliative humor compared to people from more individualistic cultures such as US and Canada. Other research has found that people from Eastern cultures are less likely to use humor as a copying strategy and generally view a sense of humor as a less important attribute compared with how it is seen in West. With this, we come to the end of this edition of Science Time. Keep sending your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is indiascience@vigyanprasad.gov.in. We will be back with more exciting stories from the world of science next week. Stay tuned to India Science.